It's me, Dr. Molo. I want to teach y'all how I made multifracture. You start off with the intro. Okay, so first I have this piano here in which I copied the melody from the drop onto the piano. Yep. It's just a Labs soft piano. It's free if y'all want it. I just did treble boost and the EQ8 reverb, slight reverb, just to make it like more wet, to have more space in the mix. Then we have the Synology, which is just the drums. I just have reverb on it, Saturn 2. I slightly edited the jazz kit preset. Yes. It's essentially the same. It just has a couple envelope fixes and filtering. Second, I have the bass. Also from Labs, which I guess now is Splice Instrument. I don't know why they did that. The strings. Also from a Splice Instrument. Yeah, so basically that's it. I want to walk into how I made the swells for this. Okay, I have this reactor preset with Razer. It has OTT and disperser. I just added an LFO over to the notch filter to the face. I turned down the fine so it matches the global tuning of my track. So after I made this preset, I went here. Basically what I did is I opened up Anina. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anina. I used the sidechain. Sidechained it to the reactor preset. Fixed the cut of the high, the gate, the amount, the attack, the release, and I added the tone all the way up. I think this is delta function. Yeah, this is the delta function. After that, I use OTT. This here without it. This is here with it. After that, I have EQ8. Yeah, just do high pass and low pass. After that, I have a delay, basic filter delay with ping pong on the triplets. But yeah, that's how I did the swell. So basically, that's all I have. Here, I just automated the reverb and I turned it down gradually. So after that, I want to get into how I did the basses. Basically, all I did was grab a clap from the Sakura sample pack. Really great sample pack. You have to get it. I just did a basic flow. After that, I added some chords with a pitched up piano sample. I had some slight reverb. I added some OTT and some high pass. And then I did the same flow with another clap. Once again from the same sample pack. I added frequency shifter, just to make it more high pitched. And then I added some resonator. I also tuned it minus 50 cents, once again to match the global tuning of the track. So I just turned down the decay, I turned down the color. This is the main tonal layer. Okay, after I did that, I have some frequency magnet. I pitched it up and down using the shifter stock plugin from Ableton. On the last layer, no, actually it's not the last. Did the same thing with the layer above. The thing I changed is I added a vocoder after the fact, just to make it noisy, so it's a tonal. Added some OTT after that with the time all the way up, the depth all the way up, and that's it. On the actual last layer, it's the same thing as the previous one with some reverb. I turned the diffuse all the way down, turned up the reflect all the way up, turned the decay all the way down. To give it more transient and body, I used some pews, it's normal pews, from our Luminity sample pack coming up soon actually. Now to move on to the actual instrument layers. This is the wavetable. This is a wavetable stock plugin on Ableton. I did a saw wave, did a attack, a pitch envelope. Used the unison noise mod to make it sound like a screaming synth. The voice is all the way up, the amount to 49. Then I used the stock plugin of Kalimba Plastic. It's an operator plugin. I used the pitch envelope to turn it down 50 cents. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know if there's an alternative way. But basically what I did is I turned up all of the things to 1 semitone up. And after that, I turned down the pitch envelope to minus 50%. Basically what this does is it turns it down by half a semitone, which is basically what everything is doing in this track. After that, I added a spectral time, turned the stereo all the way up, and added a slight amount of spray, the mix all the way up. Basically did the same thing as in here, but I didn't add any spectral time. It's a different pitch. Did the same thing as in here, but what I did is I did 2 layers. One, the root is C3, the root is C5 in here. So basically they're separate octaves. If I'm not mistaken, this one is 2 octaves up. On the wavetable, I just did like a basic, like a wow 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 synth. You always hear it. I'm just modulating the filter with the classic unison. The voice is all the way up, amount 7. And here on Vital, I think this is my favorite synth layer. I do this a lot of times. Basically, all I do is so basically, all you do is turn on the spectral phaser. You go to here. You do this. Basically, you get a sick bubbly sound, sick glitchy sound. You can map it to the random one. Turn on stereo, sync. Basically, it's all I did. Now, if I go here, instead of mapping it to the random, I mapped this one to the second oscillator random. Mapped the envelope 1, which is also controlling the volume, to the phaser in here. I did a slight curve with a wider spike. This one is turned down. This one is the default level. I added a high pass after that, just to stop itself from muddying the entire mix. And here it's basically the same thing, except with unison. And here it's the same thing, that instead, except of using phaser, which gives you the previously mentioned sound, I just put on some filter. It sounds like that. I love it. I don't know when I discovered that. In here, I added a arpeggiator, just to make a sick arp. On the vital patch, I just automated the phaser with the stereo all the way up. I automated the phaser. I think it's in the default triangle. Yeah, there's nothing else. And then I did a fill, which basically carries the entire track. What I did is modulate the octave with a really fast triangle, like an LFO. Then modulated the chorus pitch. And here you should be able to see it. Modulating it by 3%, which gives it the characteristic screaming effect. You can see it in action here. Then I added the second, which is basically the same thing, except the octave isn't being modulated. The chorus pitch isn't either. And in the third one, it's the same thing as this, except I turned up the unison. In the wavetable, it's just a plain sine wave with the erosion on. Yeah, there's nothing much to it. This is basic square wave with a pitch envelope. Here, it's the same square wave, except it's an octave up. And I did redux, then bow-cutted it to self. Then I added a shifter just to make it wider. Added some OTT, added some EQ for high pass, and on the unison I did noisy, which is the basically the same thing I did on the main lead to make it more screamish, you know. On the drums I had, this is actually all from my upcoming sample pack, Luminity. Check it out. It's gonna be sick, really. I did this basic thing. Basically, what I did is I changed the transient of this clap with a pew, you know, so it's go like and after that I added a second transient, which is the chopped off transient of this kick. Yep. Then I just did a hat. Then I did a couple you know, laser fills. I did a couple Strapner fills. I did a couple saw wave fills. Basically all there is to it. Then on the main bass bus, what I did is I went added this kilohertz distortion, turned up the drive, turned down the dynamics, turned up the bias. This is actually some series sauce. You have to turn up the bias in order to get that usual grid I always have. Yeah, you see it now. Okay, here on the clipper, I just clipped it, so it gets really loud. On the side chain, this is a kickstart. Default preset, side chain to the clap and kick. Basically, that's all. For the bridge in here, I just changed the drum group. It's essentially the same thing as the first part. Here, I changed the clap with a gun I made. Basically the same processing with this sample. I made it. It's also coming in our Luminity sample pack, so stay tuned, please. For this layer, which I exclusively added on the second drop, it imports some tonal characteristic. It's like really noisy yet really good. I don't know which sample pack this comes from. If anyone knows, leave it in the comments. But basically all I did is chop it, add some high pass. Okay, this is basically the same, except I here I added the pew like a laser, but it's just reverse. So for this specific part, basically all I did was do a basic wow synth with this envelope. I turned up the unison. I did this and set it to modulate the filter. Here it's the same thing, except I did it with a sine wave, no unison, no filter. I changed the envelope slightly. It's modulating the level, it's modulating the octave, so you know you get this bubbly sound, like yes. After that, I just changed the chords and the sub. Yeah, it's basically the same thing here. It's just a bit changed up. For these fills in here, I used this piano, which is the same soft piano as in the intro. I did a sine wave, which just has the noise unison mode. I love this fucking mode. It has the unison noise mode. It has 2 voices. The mount set to 20. Nothing really else to it. On the main group, I just added reverb. Yes. In here, I just deleted everything else and just isolated this part. I took advantage that this is like a really short call and response, so it feels really cohesive. Actually, it sounds like almost like the same synth. So I really like it. It's one of my favorite parts from this track. You know, essentially the same structure as the first drop, just a bit changed. On the outro, I did the same thing except no drums, only the cymbals. Yeah. And then in here at the outro, I just changed the chords. Yep, there we go. Then I gradually turned the bits down so you get the crunchy effect. And basically, that's it. That's all there is for this track. I just want to shortly get into how I did the risers, the tension in this track. I used this saw wave with noise and 0 amount of unison. Like, it has the same width. It just isn't as noisy. I just created a slight tension with this. I added reverb. Then I added a tremolo, a really square-like tremolo. Yeah. So here, this, it sounds like a wasp. I synthesized this in Vital. Yeah. And here, also from our Luminity sample pack. Yeah, this is what I synthesized in here. I just mapped the LFO to the Shepherd tone modulator, then shaped it to the Foreman 2. Added a filter, some white noise, some chorus, and just high passed it. Added some slight treble boost, and that's it. That's all there is. Same principle as in here. And yeah, I'm done with the track. Please go listen to it. Goodbye. Peace.